Welcome to the Ghost of Plum Run Hour with Tim Russo, author of the Star Wars series for leftists, Ghost of Plum Run. And joining us today is a very special guest, Eugene McCormick, formerly of
Pretty
the
fucking special.
formerly of the Cleveland Leader.
Formally,
Oh, so
I am the motherfucking Cleveland Leader.
So we're doing an announcement to the world.
Are we?
Well, the leader is back.
Did it ever go away? I thought it was kind of like the Beatles, just kind of, they might break up, but
Well, we didn't have a big breakup scene.
I wanted to go on the roof at Thurston 10 and you never fucking showed up.
Oh, right.
I was sitting there, you know what I mean? Like the Beatles did it at the roof.
So
I went up to the roof and nobody showed up.
So the roof of Thurston 10 is a holy place in Middleburg Heights where we all will gather when Planet X smashes into the earth and brings us all to our merciful end. So we begin today with the Buru update from from the newsroom of the Cleveland Leader in Brook Park.
It was actually kind of an interesting week, and you're the main seeker of that news, and it was an interesting week. Like there was a lot going on. So please expand on us.
The biggest news in Nibiru's approach is the arrival of the Omicron variant.
Nah, I disagree with that. Because NASA is saying well, they confirmed aliens. Like there was all kinds of Planet X news. Come on, get with the Planet X news. This was a big week.
Well, NASA confirmed that there's some asteroid, right, coming this way.
Yes.
And
that's pretty big.
And you have duly poured yourself a cup of tea.
I did. What better way to go out? I should have the tea and I should have the hot toddy right next to what's going on here, but I'm not that well versed yet.
Well, your sound is better when you do that.
When I do the hot toddy and what are you talking about?
Your sound is better when you put it on your lap and you're talking into your computer, which is why I have the USB microphone.
I probably have a good microphone around here somewhere.
I'm sure you do. I mean, you used to have really good sound. The Cleveland Leader was once a giant in Cleveland journalism for our new listeners. Now we are just sitting in our rooms, staring at the walls.
Yes, I'm a hermit, and I'm happier than I've ever been.
In other breaking Cleveland Leader news, you are recently recovered from COVID. Do you think you had the Omicron?
I have all the crons. I have the Alpha Cron, the Omega Cron, the Orcatron,
the Omicron.
The Orcatron might be the one that kills us all.
Now, tell us about your COVID experience. Tell the audience.
Well, my kids' school has been pretty brutalized the last few weeks. And the older two of my kids, I have a 5th and 6th grader those are my older two. They had stopped going to school for a couple of weeks because of COVID. Well, when they got back, my daughter picks it up. And then she passes it on to me.
So your daughter is evil. Your daughter is one of the evil unvaccinated.
Yes, we all are. We are an evil, dirty family.
Right. And now she must be pilloried and burnt at the stake as a witch.
Yes, because we started the Omicron. That's
Omicron is from Brook Park.
Well, Middleburg.
Right, because her school is in
Yes. So your city has to be blamed for that.
So, for those who don't know where the Cleveland Leader Empire is located, it is literally located on two ends of Sheldon Road. in Middleburg Heights and Brook Park.
Started in Berea, actually. These little known facts that
What started in Berea?
the leader.
It
We
did?
lived in Berea when it started. Yeah,
Oh, where were you in Berea?
we had to hit the whole Tri-City. That would be like right on the corner of Henry and Bagley.
The the Tri-City area.
237 and Bagley.
237 in Bagley. Oh, I know where that is. That's the Polish neighborhood.
Yep. Yep, I had a little house there.
Over by St. Adalbert's.
And then Julie stopped paying the bill and got foreclosed on. She was telling me that she was paying the bill.
All of which is top secret in the vault leadership.
But it was an interesting ride on the leader. Like, it was the best of times and it was the worst of times.
So this podcast now has the greatest view of brown paneling, West Side Cleveland brown paneling that you're ever going to get.
No, the downstairs is even better.
Is even
It's
better.
even uglier. Yeah, it's uglier paneling. You know that meme where like there's like this dorky guy on a computer? I see this meme every once in a while, but it's exactly that paneling. And like I get a laugh out of it because this is like the classy paneling compared to the
Right.
downstairs.
Well, the real 70s paneling can be seen in the Casey and the Sunshine Band video. I'm Your Boogeyman.
Does Boogie Nights have any paneling scene?
I'm sure Boogie Nights had brown paneling in the movie, but I'm talking about Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Oh, I know.
Has that pierced your video consumption? Any Casey and the Sunshine Band videos?
It has not. No.
Well, when you'll know it when you see it. It's like literally the kids in the basement with the paneling playing their instruments, except it's Casey and the Sunshine Band and they're kicking ass.
Nice.
So we've had our Nibiru update. The Omicron variant is here. And it sent the stock market into a tailspin yesterday. So, and you're a big stock market watcher. So the Cleveland Leader financial news segment begins now. What's the latest on what is the latest?
I try to ignore these types of questions because I was rich earlier this year and now I'm poor again. So until I'm rich again, I don't want to talk about it. And I don't think that's going to happen. So like, let's just not talk about this.
It's the classic West Side Cleveland rags to riches, back to rags story.
I gave it a shot. What can you do?
You rode up the COVID spike, and now you're back down with COVID.
I think I'm recovered from COVID. I almost recovered. Do you think I'm 100%? What do you think?
You sound perfectly fine to me. I mean, it may be a little bit gravelly on the voice, but what
just wait till I get a couple hot toddies in me.
I know that the hot toddy news. Who was this guy who said the hot toddy saved him from COVID?
English guy, of course.
Did you read that story? What was he saying?
It was Mike that sent me that. I only perused it. When I send you that stuff, I expect you to read it and explain it to me. I'm not that smart for comprehension. Come on now.
Oh, you're the smartest journalist in Cleveland. Everybody knows that. That's why you're back. You can't be killed. You're like the Cleveland journalism cockroach. So what are the stories the Cleveland Leader is gonna cover now? That we're one story could be I
heard about an aspiring writer from Middleburg, and he's writing these Civil War vignettes of different things, and I want to hear all about it. That's
well, all you have to do is read the damn book.
I can't read.
And like we went that the Cleveland leader flamed out in issue 3. Oh, the marijuana thing. You know, have you been following that there's all these new marijuana legalization efforts in the state house to try and stop another petition drive?
So they're getting off their ass. What are they proposing now?
There's a various, it's across the spectrum. There's like 3 bills now, apparently.
Why does Ohio make things so difficult? Like, this is just, everybody else is legalizing this shit. Like, there's money being made.
Because Tony George has to have his cut. You know that. Everybody wants to get at the front of the line. They don't just want to have the legalization. They want to have the legalization with the guaranteed money in their pocket.
The thing is, it's marijuana. Like, I could grow it in my backyard if I really fucking wanted to.
Would you start growing if we had home grow allowed in Ohio?
I don't know. I have kids. Like, that's a weird thing. Like, it's funny because before kids, I would have been like, yeah, everybody grow. But like now I am kind of a little bit, it does kind of creep me out a little bit. Like, and like, I would actually be more comfortable with my kids smoking pot than tobacco. But it's not like I'm going to say, hey, yeah, fucking roll it all up. You know what I mean? Like, it's a weird dynamic here. Do you dig what I was saying?
Last I saw you, actually, you were going to try and get you back your 6-pack abs.
I was in good shape up until my life went back to shit basically about this time last year where I tore my hamstring. And I was in really good shape like this time last year. I can't run. I need surgery, probably, to be frank.
You're basically Baker Mayfield.
An uglier, less talented.
You're Baker Mayfield. You're on the field trying to make it happen, yet you're falling apart.
I always said I'd go until my wheels came off, and unfortunately for me, a wheel did come off.
The wheels are flying right off.
But it's ironic though, because like, so I lose my job at Oberlin, and that could be a whole nother episode in itself. But I believe that like my body is screwed up and I probably need all kinds of different surgeries. So now I'm on like, what is it, Medicaid? Is that what they call this that I'm on?
Are you on Medicaid?
Is that what they call it when you
I
get
think it is. Yeah. Well, you're
love
through
this shit.
Yeah,
like
it's Medicaid, but you're through some private insurer. Like there has to be a grift. Someone has to be.
They're not going to be making money off me though, because like I'm going to be fucking getting all kinds of shit. I hope they don't fucking make me get the vax though.
Well, that's the issue. Is I'm worried that the second you come into contact with anybody at Medicaid at Metro Health or any of that shit, they're going to make you get the vaccine.
When does the medical profession admit like all this shit is just it's all phony? Like they don't know what the fuck's going on. Like,
well, I was talking to somebody about this. There's a much longer tradition of fraud and farce in medicine than there is of truth and honor. And like, I mean,
that's why marijuana got banned in the first place, because it was curing everything, and they're like, we can't have that.
That's not gonna work for us.
No, that shit's free. We can't have that.
It really is. It's like there's evidence that cannabis actually helps prevent COVID, and like if you look it up, if you spend enough time trying to find that information, you'll find it, that somebody makes an argument that cannabis prevents it. And,
it's probably as well argued as this vaccine that supposedly works. And it probably has more truth to it, in my opinion.
So your kids are not going to get the vaccine. Is that what you're saying?
No. I mean, unless they want, like, if my 12-year-old said, I want to get the vaccine, I wouldn't stop them. I would say, I don't think it's the greatest idea. I would show him some stories from what our government's done before in terms of vaccines, and maybe that would change his mind. But like, I believe, like, that's what pisses me off about this whole thing. Isn't health choices supposed to be a personal choice, and you do what's best for you? And instead, all I see is like this peer pressure, and like everybody's doing it and you have to do it too. Like, what the fuck?
And it doesn't work.
It does not work, but they don't want to believe that. They jumped off the cliff and they don't know where they land, so they want everybody else to jump off the cliff. I've jumped off enough cliffs in my life.
Right.
I was married to fucking Julie. That was a fucking cliff.
Are we putting that on the internet?
Oh yeah, we are. The select few will get a laugh out of that. I gotta let that happen.
We do love Julie, but the marriage didn't work out the way it should have worked out, which is the story of most marriages. So,
Very good run, though.
what? See, now when you walk away from the thing, no one can hear you talk. You ain't getting the 6-pack abs. Let me just tell you that right now. That you can just forget about that. They're never coming back. I'm just looking at you right now. You're done.
I was close. When you tell me I'm done, that actually gives me more motivation that I'll do it again.
Well, that's what Baker Mayfield probably thinks, and he's on the damn field heaving balls 5 feet above every receiver that's there.
I am a goddamn mess right now, though. I was in really good shape, though. I mean, I did actually accomplish what my goals were.
I'm thinking Baker Mayfield is in way worse shape than you.
Yeah, I don't know.
His shoulder's not even attached.
My shoulder hasn't been attached since I was 14.
So you know what that's like.
And that's my throwing shoulder.
Well, this brings us to the sports section of this podcast. So Kareem Hunt is back Sunday night for the late game that us old people can't sit through actually and make it to the end of. If we win these 2 games, we're in the driver's seat.
I do think they're going to win. I think we're a little bit better than Baltimore.
I think as a team, I think we got a problem at quarterback because the guy can't fucking run and he can't do anything and he's basically falling apart. But if he can throw 15 times a game and Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb can run 40 times, that's fine. I think we win.
I wonder what the weather in Baltimore is like tomorrow. Let's I think that's an important variable here.
Well, Lamar Jackson's back too. He's back after a game missing with a mystery illness.
He had COVID, and they're not going to say it because that's not allowed because he wasn't vaccinated. But I don't see them complaining about him because he's a little bit darker shade than Aaron Rodgers, and the liberals probably like him, so you can't like upset them.
Well, I think he would be a bigger story than Aaron Rodgers because of that.
But they don't want to upset that. Like that.
They don't want the story. They do not want the. They went through it with Rodgers. And
Aaron Rodgers isn't even a Republican, and they're like making him out to
right.
They
were losing. They were losing the battle with Aaron Rodgers quite clearly, and they don't want to go through that battle again. Much less with the quarterback like Lamar Jackson, who is not going to be sat. They're not going to sit him if they don't have to. But that's going to be a tough game. I mean, if we win these 2 games, we're in the driver's seat. We have Baltimore Sunday night, tomorrow night, and we have Baltimore after the bye week. So these 3 weeks are going to decide the season.
but like this is so weird. Like, how did they schedule? Like, and I know that it's been like, but like, whose idea was it to like have back to back games against the same team?
I don't know.
This is bizarre.
Didn't we do that with Pittsburgh a few years back?
I think we were really bad at that point, though,
Right.
so it didn't fucking matter. Like that was like they gave them 2 buys. They gave Pittsburgh 2 buys that year. Back to back.
Right before the playoffs every
It's
year.
time to get healthy.
They might have won the Super Bowl that year.
Probably. I mean, it's nice to have a couple weeks off right at the end of the year. This is reminiscent of when did we play Houston in the final regular season game and then the playoffs years and years ago? This is what that reminds me of.
Houston?
The Oilers.
Good
years
Lord.
ago.
Now you're really aging yourself.
I'm old as fuck. The leader was formed in what, like 1881 or something?
1854.
You see, like I'm old as hell, old as the hills.
What maybe we should tell whoever's lasted this long who Edwin Collins was.
Let's talk about Edwin Collins instead.
Who's Edwin Collins?
You gotta do your music research, my friend. I thought you were Britain, and you lived in Britain.
Who's Edwin Collins?
He's a really good guitarist, my friend.
For who?
Well, he did solo shit, and he's been around since like the 80s.
You're gonna make me Google Edwin Collins.
Yeah, I will.
God.
Girl Like You is his most known song.
Scottish musician, producer, and record label owner from Edinburgh. Was the lead singer of a post-punk band called Orange Juice.
I was going to call him Orange Crush, but it's Orange Juice.
All right. Yeah, I would never have heard of this guy.
I'm surprised.
Associated acts: New Sonics, Orange Juice, The Drums, Aztec Camera, The Cribs, and Roddy Frame, whatever that is. He's born in he's 62 years old, so he's a little older than me and you. So we aren't that old yet, thank God. I do like the brown paneling milieu. That's a nice look for the leader's first podcast in how many years? When's the last time you did a podcast?
It's been a long time. Probably, I'd say 6-7 years.
So our goal is to last until Trump gets reelected, right? That's our goal.
I don't know if Trump will get reelected. I'm thinking Tulsi's my dark horse. If I'm going to bet her at 38-1 to be the next president.
Then that's the only reason you would put money on her, is because you get 38.
No, I mean that helps, but I think she's hitting the right notes.
She's a nothing. She's a yearly nothing.
She's hot and she's saying the right things.
And then when she stops saying the right things at precisely the wrong moment, she's not. Nah, Trump is getting reelected, dude. Have you driven by that guy's house down on Sheldon Road?
He's old though. Like, is Trump 75 now?
Who cares? Nobody cares how old people are anymore.
Hey,
Look,
Siri,
we just
how old is
elected
Trump?
Joe Biden. And Joe Biden can barely.
75.
Trump is 75 now?
Yes.
Well, then he'll be 77, 78 when he starts running again.
It's old. Like, things can happen really quick.
Like, it's going to be a Trump Biden reboot. Like, like they're rebooting Happy Days, except it's Trump versus Biden again.
Did the Democrats, like, was it just Biden's turn, or was that all they had that they thought could win? Like, he's so pathetic. Like, how the fuck did we get here?
Well, you know, the leader used to try and answer those questions for everyone.
The world's gone to hell since we went down the drain. But like, so can somebody write us a check for like 100,000 a year, so like the world can go back on the upswing. All we ask.
Well, we were documenting it going down the drain. So it's no surprise that when we stepped away,
nobody wrote us a fucking check. It all goes down.
So the leader's founder was Edwin Collins in 1854, which I should probably try and write that into my book series because it's right around that era where all this shit's going down. And Edwin Collins founded the Leader as the organ of the Republican Party in Cleveland. I mean, that's what's amazing is that the Leader really was the Republican Party's mouth organ.
Yes.
At its birth in Ohio, the biggest paper in Ohio.
And eventually got a couple presidents elected as well, right from their own little crib, so to speak.
You think the Plain Dealer owns the name again? Did they go when when we just
the Plain Dealer doesn't even own the Plain Dealer? I don't think anymore. They're Cleveland.com and like.
Will they come after us and try and cancel our videos because we're claiming to be the Cleveland Leader?
I don't think they want to. I don't think they want to be the Plain Dealer anymore. Like in 20 years, the Plain Dealer might not even exist.
Do you get the Plain Dealer still?
Does anybody? Like you're probably one of like 75. Or do you guys not get it?
We don't get it. They force the Sunday paper on us. Like they give it to us for free and we don't really want it.
Who does?
And sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. And then months go by, they decide not to send the free paper anymore. And then they realize that it's the only moneymaker because it's filled with ads. And so the ads drive the Sunday paper into our mailbox. And that's it. I don't look at it. I hand it to my mother and she reads it. She reads the ads. That's the end of that.
If it didn't, like, I think probably like a daily paper. Do you think that's like $1 at the newsstand though?
Oh, I think it's $1.50.
Like, why the fuck would I be spending you $1.50 on old news?
It was barely worth it when it was 75 cents.
And then like, it wasn't worth it when it was 20 cents. Let's be honest. And we get multiple editions of that. Like, I don't know why. It was like a nicotine habit. You're just doing it. It never really was worth at least, but like now it's so thin.
Right.
There's nothing essential in there.
And it's all old news and it's all been broken like not just 24 hours earlier, but sometimes a week earlier. And they wait to put shit in the news in the print edition. Nothing breaks. Like Browns news, Cleveland sports news of any kind, nothing breaks from the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Nothing. It all breaks from ESPN or Yahoo Sports or some other guy,
Well, when you have Mary Kay Cabot, the person that's been doing that's been 30 years. Like, she's terrible.
She's a mouthpiece. She's a PR appendage is what she is. She's basically on the payroll of Jimmy Haslam. And before that, on the payroll of who owned it before Jimmy Haslam? Jesus Christ. I can't even remember. Al Lerner. She was on the payroll of all of those people. She still is. I mean, that's why they don't break any news. Like any news that comes out of them, injury wise, roster cuts, none of that stuff breaks from Cleveland media. It all breaks from national media.
This story is a little risque, but I think it's worth telling. So we were Plain Dealeraholics here. Like literally we would get multiple editions of the paper. We'd go out when they used to do 3 editions of each paper, and we'd get like each edition of the paper. Like there'd be one that would come out at 11:30. There'd be another one that would come out middle of the night, and then like an 8:00 edition. All virtually the same with a couple exceptions. But He'd read the sports page, like everything, but like the sports page was like the religion. So this is like 1990s Indians. And we noticed that Paul Hoynes is like he's got a man crush on Glen Allen Hill. Do you remember Glen Allen Hill?
Didn't he play center field or something?
He played right field. Really, like he must have been on steroids because like really buff, really bad acne. But like he's always like talking like, you know, and like we're like, is there something to this? You know, like we're like, this is like a season-long puzzle. There's this one story where he's talking about another Indian, Thomas Howard, and then like midway through he gets distracted and starts talking about Glen Allen Hill and how much he loves him. It was the weirdest thing of all time. So now, and my buddy didn't even remember that I told him this story because like this is one that I do tell because it was so strange. So then a buddy of mine sends me this text message of Paul Hoynes, and he has the feed of what Paul Hoynes is liking on Twitter, and it's this really buff guy. Paul Hoynes is a homosexual. Like, and we figured it out like 35 years later. It cracked me the fuck up.
Well, that would be Twitter is like 20 years after Glen Allen Hill.
Yes. So it's like a 30-year mystery that's solved.
So he's hot. Paul Hoynes was hot for Glen Allen Hill.
Hoynes had the hots for Glen Allen Hill, yes.
Well, you know, I mean, I don't know why.
I think he might have like I think they might have actually had a thing. Like just like it was such an obsession.
Where's Glen Allen Hill these days?
He's shit. He's probably your age, I would assume. You know what I mean? Like that would probably be about.
You're saying he's probably sitting in a basement in Brook Park with brown paneling.
Should we get Glen Allen Hill in an interview and see if Paul Hoynes ever grabbed his ass? It could be a Me Too movement.
So when I do the description for the Substack, it's gonna be join us for discussions of Nibiru, Thurston 10, and Paul Hoynes grabbing Glen Allen Hill's ass.
Did you got to put the did, or else you could get in some trouble there.
Oh, we're gonna get canceled. We're gonna get canceled so quickly. None of this is gonna last. Like is
Paul Hoynes on your Substack?
I don't know, because what's interesting to me about the Substack is that, okay, so they really want you to upload your Gmail contacts, right? Well, I'm thinking if I sent the email to every person in my Gmail, I would be accused of spamming because none of these people have subscribed.
They didn't want your email when you sent it to them.
They didn't want it when they didn't want it 15 years ago. But Substack says no, you have to upload all your contacts. So and they make it easy, you know, it's all this it's all very put together. So you upload your Gmail contacts and it tells you right away you got 720 email addresses. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of email addresses. So it's Substack that sends out the email, not Gmail. So for some reason, Substack is getting this free pass for all of this unsolicited email that I'm sending from Substack, not from Gmail. So I'm not getting dinged for the spamming. Substack is, but Substack isn't getting dinged. Now, what's interesting is you send the email out. When you hit publish, it sends an email to that list. So if if more people sign on individually over time, that list grows. And every time I hit publish, they get what I publish. So when I publish this podcast on Substack, everyone's going to get it. Now, The funny thing is does Eugene McCormick's presence cause everyone to flee?
Probably.
So does everyone just fuck you, Russo? I'm not taking your emails anymore.
Not if you're around me. No, I'm a deplorable.
You're deplorable. Well, I think we're both deplorables at this point, which is why we're here. So I don't have the brown paneling. You do.
That's super deplorable.
That's right at the bottom. Brook Park brown paneling, Oh, we forgot. Speaking of Brook Park, another staple of this new Cleveland Leader Ghost of Plum Run podcast is the new mayor of Brook Park.
Should I live stream his inauguration?
I think you should go, at least. You don't have to live stream, but you should definitely be there in a Bills jersey.
That'd be funny. Josh Allen. I want a Josh Allen jersey too. I'm wearing your color. And he did use the blue. Like he used the Bills blue. That's what's funny about that.
Have you been able to confirm this at all? Have you talked? Has anybody said anything?
Confirm that he's from, like you confirm that he's from Buffalo. I'm sure he is.
Right. But I mean, do people in Brook Park know that the mayor is from Buffalo?
I think he's from a different planet. Like, does his whole eyes, they say I have really bad, like if he was from Brook Park, he wouldn't remember he's from Brook Park. He has PTSD. Like it's so fucking clear that like he's probably killed like 150 Iraqis.
But everybody from Brook Park has PTSD just from being from Brook Park.
Well, that's from Julie, because like they got
we still love you, Julie.
She ain't gonna watch this. You fucking kidding?
On the off chance that she does, we have to say we love her. It's a loving kind of poking, we're just
please buy a book. Tim's desperate.
So anyway, Ed Orcott, mayor of Brook Park, just elected this fall, came out of literally nowhere, specifically Buffalo, and became mayor of Brook Park.
He won his first election by like 4 votes. And like, I think he only served 1 term.
He won the first election by 4 votes.
I believe so.
Who did he beat?
A senile old lady. It was it was PTSD versus senile old lady. The senile old lady was nice, but like she was senile. Like
who has Julie's seat now?
She was an at-large, so Coyne's daughter has one of them.
Then wasn't Orcott at large too?
I have a very funny Nora Coyne story for you, but that's a private story.
Well, the Tom Coyne material for the podcast is going to have to percolate up on its own. I don't think we want to. That's a teaser. We're going to tease our audience with Brook Park discussions. Perhaps
Tom Coyne drinking Miller High Life in here if I want.
Well, that'd be a get. That's a great get. Let's get Tom Coyne.
I don't know if he'd actually do it. It's funny. Like, I don't know if he hates my gut. Like, it's a weird dynamic. Like, that would be a weird. I don't know.
Do you think he's gotten COVID? I bet Tom Coyne has had COVID more than once.
Maybe I shouldn't have taken credit to create the omnibus. What is it?
The Omicron. The Omicron.
Where the fuck did they come up with these fucking names?
I don't know, but Tom Coyne's probably one of those guys who is vaccinated but doesn't tell people.
He's vaccinated and he doesn't tell people,
and he lets people think he's not vaccinated for the political juice that it gets you.
I don't know, those old folks, they're so afraid of death that like they'll take anything, I think. You know, I have some news to share for the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. And like, this is a shocker, but both vaccinated and unvaccinated people are all going to die one day. That's a shock.
Well, this is why we have the Nibiru update every episode.
Everyone dies. So don't be afraid. No one gets out alive.
I think
we got to track down no one gets out alive. That's what we got to track down.
Yeah, so for our audience, the the Ed Orcott mayoral era has begun, and it was ushered in by famed news anchor Scott Shirai.
Everyone knows him.
And if you've never heard of Scott Shirai, where are you living?
He wrote the book on karaoke.
On karaoke, he's a karaoke. Scott Shirai is a karaoke author. He's been on many book tours.
He's very good with a drone.
With a what?
A drone.
He's good with drone. No, I see. I don't know if that was his drone. I think that was Ed Orcott's drone in the video of Ed Orcott. It's telling everyone he's going to be mayor of Brook Park. I don't think Scott Shirai is capable of using a drone. He's 79 years old and he moved to Brook Park when he was 73. This is a guy who can't use a drone. Are you crazy?
Well, no, he knows the happening spots. Like, who doesn't want to move to Brook Park when they're 73?
Right. Like, you're moving. If you move to Brook Park when you're 73 years old, you've made a conscious decision to move to Brook Park.
That's the story. Like, I think this is where the podcast leads. How did Scott Shirai end up in Brook Park at age 73?
With his wife,
Michelle.
And they live very in the same neighborhood as Ed. Sort of what is that building at the end of that street?
What are you talking about?
Well, there's like this looks like a school behind where Shirai lives in Brook Park.
They live on Shelby. Is that the?
Yeah.
Is that off Fry?
No, it's off Hummel. Like,
oh, that's the Marine complex.
Oh, right.
Of course, right?
Well, that's where
that was a school when I grew up, and true story. So that was a school, and then like it's become a Marine complex. But I saw my brother, like I was probably like 6, 7 years old. My brother pitched against this other guy that was really good. My brother shuts out the team. They win 1-0. And I've seen a lot of crazy shit in my life. This one was crazy. So they're shaking hands as the game ends, and the opposing coach dies of a heart attack at home plate. He does. I'm not making this up.
This is Brook Park. Like he saved himself from Brook Park. He dies at a fucking
really
baseball
game. To win. Like they're not going to beat John.
Where was this game?
Right where Scott Shirai lives. No one gets out alive, Tim.
So Scott Shirai's film credits include a movie called No One Gets Out Alive.
There's another one too, isn't there?
Yes, it's called What Now?
I love it.
So, you have to send this to Tom Coyne or someone. Tom Coyne has to see all of this.
Shit, no one gets out alive.
It's so perfect for the Brook Park, Ohio.
Well, I'm gonna just go on the guess that nobody ever sees this, but they might, and if they do, I don't really give a fuck anyway. But
Maybe I'll even link it on my Facebook page. I don't fucking know what the fuck I'm doing.
Like, where the hell is this gonna go?
Coin, like it's funny because like these people in Brook Park probably like they don't know that me and Coin were like tied at the hip for a very like a good portion of time during his campaign or during his thing. So he told me this Orcott was going to be the next mayor before anybody even fucking knew who this fucking guy was. So me seeing this happen is like trippy because like Orcott is such a bad, like how the fuck is this guy? This guy has fucking post-traumatic stress syndrome, you dumb motherfuckers. You can't see that this dude is fucking crazy. My wife was crazy. You fucking didn't notice that, you dumb motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, to be fair to Brook Park, they also elected your wife.
At least she, like, honestly, she at least had me to like tell her, like, she wouldn't listen to me, and that's what got her in trouble. Like, if she would have played nice, she would have been fine.
Well, we would have run her for Congress if
she
had played nice.
Like, I guarantee Orcott wants to kill people. Like, he really wants to make you the fucking Iraqi that he fucking probably fucking raped in the desert.
Well, sadly, Julie would be running for this 13th congressional district seat that just got drawn basically for her. Like that seat is drawn for whoever is viable in southwestern Cuyahoga County.
What does Johnny Manziel say?
I don't know. What does he say
Come
anymore?
back, Cezanne.
What? What does he say?
Come back, season, motherfucker.
Come back, okay, come back. We'll make.
Everybody loves a fucking comeback.
Unfortunately, she lives in Lakewood now, which is not in the 13th congressional district.
Is that going to be a black district now? Is that going to be
That's going to be the 11th, and that's going to include Lakewood. She might run from Lakewood. She might be able to do someone could get elected to that black seat from Lakewood.
I don't
sure
see
of
that.
it.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, what we
that'll be Nina Turner will lose another really easy race to win. That's what she's known for.
You know what? I'm so glad we didn't start doing this in the middle of that, because that would have just been boring as fuck. Oh, Nina's going to raise millions of dollars and lose. That's the story. That's exactly what happened. There was nothing funny about that. There was nothing. It was just tragic. It was just like tragic comedy. Pathetic.
You know what? She's probably fortunate because like this Democratic Party is so bad that like I don't even think you'd want to be part of that. Like,
no, why would you? Why would you? She should have run as an independent and she could have won that. But she's not going to run as an independent because she's part of that system and she refuses to accept that. But now we're depressing Tim. We can't have a depressed Tim. What we have to have is more Orcott discussion, because that is more. So I think we've got a good list of topics for this podcast. We got Naburu update, potential financial markets analysis, thereby Omicron. We got a new variant, right?
Eddie.
Sports. We got the Browns. We got two Ravens games coming up in the next 3 weeks, which is going to decide the season. And Orcott, Brook Park, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, life is easy. Do you want to watch any more of this fucking content? Obviously you don't. So you buy Tim's book, you shut him up, and life is a lot better.
Well, this is why I wrote the books, because it's more fun than this bullshit, right? It's a fun story. I'm actually a pretty good fiction writer, and it's fun. So I'm out into these wilds of fiction, and it's more fun. So I'm trying to get everybody to read that stuff to entertain themselves, but they like hot takes because they don't read. Nobody reads. They listen to Eugene McCormick completely destroy himself with laughter over Tom Coyne and Ed Orcott. When did he tell you Ed Orcott was going to be mayor? What year was that?
that was very early into his term. Very like nobody had ever heard of Ed Orcott. I guarantee that the only person that knew Ed Orcott were the people in Buffalo and Ed Orcott's new neighbor in Brook Park. That's my guess. I'm just jealous that Ed is probably a bigger Josh Allen fan than me.
I think he
am a little
probably
bit
is.
jealous.
I'm sure he has great memories of the
You think he has memories though? Do you think they got whittled away during the Iraq bombings that he used to partake in?
I don't know if Tom Coyne has memories.
Well, those are blacked out.
Right. Do you
At
think Tom
least
Coyne is still drinking like a fish?
Eh, he's Irish.
That answers that question. Does he like hot toddies? You think Tom Coyne likes the hot toddies?
Invite him over. I got some Canadian Club, the good stuff.
I bet he likes Canadian Club. And on that note, I think we can end. Do you have anything more to say? We're about an hour in. I think that's enough. I think people have had enough of us.
I love you all, Brook Park. I love you all, Cleveland.
This
I love
podcast
you all.
officially announces the return of the Cleveland leader, fearless Cleveland leader, whose founder is Edwin Collins in 1854, and whose heir is Eugene McCormick, sitting in his room with the brown paneling.
Triv got vaxxed.
Oh, we never talk about Triv.
I left. Close it. That's a teaser.
Triv next time. Thank you. Goodbye.